Welcome to Building RESTful Python Web Services with Flask by Gaston C. Hiller, a video course by Pact Publishing. I am Andy Morris, and I will be Gaston's voice for this course. Gaston C. Hiller is Italian and has been working with computers since he was 8. He has a bachelor's degree in computer science. At present, Gaston is an independent IT consultant and freelance author who is always looking for new adventures around the world. He has been a senior contributing editor at Dr. Dobbs and has written more than 100 articles on software development topics. Gaston was also a former Microsoft MVP in technical computing. He has received the prestigious Intel Black Belt Software Developer Award 8 times. Okay, so let's now talk about RESTful Python Web Services. Representational state transfer is the architectural style that is driving modern web development and mobile apps. Sometimes you have to interact with an existing API, and in other cases, you have to design a RESTful API from scratch and make it work with JavaScript object notation. We will work with the web framework in combination with additional Python packages that will simplify the most common tasks. We will learn to use different tools to test and develop high-quality, consistent and scalable RESTful web services. We will also take advantage of object-oriented programming to maximize code reuse and minimize maintenance costs. Now we will see what we are going to cover in this video course. In the introductory section, we will design a RESTful API to interact with a simple dictionary that acted as a data repository and perform CRUD operations with messages. Then we will define the requirements of our API. Also, we will learn to configure serialization of messages into JSON representations with the features included in Flask RESTful. The next section will learn to start the Flask development server to compose and send HTTP requests to our RESTful API, and we'll analyze how each HTTP request was processed in our code. After that, we will use model serializers, wrappers, default parsing and rendering options, class-based views, and generic classes. Also, we will learn to use the browsable API feature, and we will design a RESTful API that interacted with a complex PostgreSQL database. Later, we will expand the capabilities of the RESTful API that we started in the previous section. We will use SQL Alchemy as our ORM to work with a PostgreSQL database. In the next section, we will add user-friendly error messages when resources aren't unique. We will test how to update single or multiple fields with the patch method, and we will create our own generic pagination class. Further, we will start working with authentication and permissions. We will add a user model, and we will update the database. And we will take advantage of Flask HTTP auth and parslib to use HTTP authentication in our API. In the last section, we will set up a testing environment and install Nose 2 to make it easy to discover and execute unit tests, and we will create a new database to be used for testing. Then we will define a first round of unit tests, measure test coverage, and then define additional unit tests to improve test coverage. Finally, we will learn many considerations for deployment and scalability. So, what are we waiting for? Let's begin this journey together, and I hope you will enjoy the ride.